Peace and blessing, y'all. We're live. How you doing today? Tonight? Had a very interesting day. You know what I'm saying? Very interesting. Let me play you an opening. Ready?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Sure Rocksteady. Can you feel it? Sure Rocksteady. Can you feel it? Sure Rocksteady.
Peace and blessing. Yeah, let's get some cheers. What's going on? What's going on? Wait a minute. I dropped my scarf. What's going on? I got a green scarf, and I'm going to let you know the reason why. And if you hear in the background, you hear this tone, I'm going to let you know the reason why. This is an intro into the Heart Energy Center. We already had spoken about the Earth magnetic field, the Earth Energy Center, where we see, and we spoke about the root, right? We take in the currency, sustainability, shelter and food, right? And the root is where we renew things, right? After we seed it, we renew it on and on and on, giving it all the nutrients and what it needs, right? I'm just talking in general terms. You can apply it to anything, and we'll show you how to do that later. And then we went up to the sacral center, right? The sacral center is your ability to transmutation, and that's changing things from a toxic or things, certain metals and that's not valuable into something that's valuable. Okay. Then of course we have purification when we deal with the solar plexus, and we went over, so a lot of these centers, on this is natural center, and it's and I'm just putting it in a linear way, right? What they call the vertical, right? You can see, in other words, you see certain schools put all the colors vertical because that's the only way to really explain it. We're a three-dimensional being. We haven't harnessed, or we are now beginning to get the idea of four dimension, which is the circular motion, right? So that's the circular motion. Okay, that's the fourth dimension. And then the fifth dimension is the expansion and the contraction, right? So we've gone through some of that. We'll explain a little more about that, and maybe have a conversation. And listen, my messenger's open. Anybody wants to call in, have a dialogue with me, and just call in, just say hi, or speak about something, and we can go ahead. So these are centers. And again, remember when we discussed already that where awareness goes, energy flows. So in these awareness, right, that we have to what? Oh, I'm sorry, let me take that off. We have what? Be, feel, will. Be the source, feel the source, will the source. Now here's love the source, right? Care for it. Right. So this is where we're at right now. So we have spoken intensively, and I was wishing to have some conversation with people, but I don't know. I got to see how things turns out. This is something that I've been studying since high school. You know what I'm saying, and then in college, and universities. So it's been a while, since 1979, 1980. And this is stuff that I've been studying, compiling and studying. And finding, and that's part of being natural. The natural self is having that sense of relationship with other people, tribe and culture and things like that. So this is a way to harness those centers, those energy that we have that are being targeted by, again, in society. It happened to all civilizations. It happened to all civilizations. This is not excluding this particular other civilization, and it's not to discredit this civilization that we've been under for the past 10,000 years. It's not discrediting at all. But this is a practice that the ancient, and this, I lost my thought. Sorry, doing something here. This is, again, the centers or the energy that we naturally have. And when you look at nature, nature have this energy about it also. You know, nature it feels, because again, we've spoken about feeling the connection, the tonality. It feels, it's a sentinel being. And that's what the study of botany and other scientists have studied, you know, plants and nature, animals, and this sense of feeling what's happening around them, you know, saying plants too. And then the will, we spoke about the willpower. And this is what I was going to say. So it's not to discredit this civilization, but it happens to many civilizations, is that there is a group of humanity that happens to amplify or work the shadow self. Those shadow ideas and feeling like fear, guilt, shame, grief, lies, illusion, ego attachment, doctrine and dogma, separatism. Separatism is at the earth center, and on the top, on the star center, is doctrine and dogma, right? Those blocks you from having the light. It blocks you from achieving the light. It casts like what they call that. What they call that again? Eclipse, right? Blocking the light, the shadow, the moon energy, blocking that sun light, causing an eclipse, and also causing an imbalancement. You know, you're not now. Once you balance it, then you're able to enlighten yourself, not light, but enlighten yourself. Illumination is different than light. No, I said that wrong. It's not illumination. So enlightenment is different than illumination. That's what I'm saying. Sorry about that. Having a moment here. Let me see what's going on. So yeah. Hey. Oh, sorry about that. Let me see. And so, as we go on and on and on, you know, this is not coming on my Facebook. I don't know what's going on. I am live, but it's not on my Facebook. I don't know what's going on. Well, anyway, so this is an introduction to what we call, let me turn that off. Oh no, it's got to stay on. What we were speaking about, this is an introduction to that heart energy center, superimposed by the heart. And this is the part of us that care for things, right? This is the part of us that love. I kind of like use the word care. It's different than love. But for the sake of this conversation, let's just say love, right? It's overshadowed by grief. But remember what I said about the shadow self and it being amplified and it can cause an imbalancement and you have problems, right? But sometimes by knowing the shadow self so that you can create that balance with the light self, sometimes that shadow teaches you about that light. So grief, some people avoid grief, and some people, the more they love, the more their grief increases. Especially when there's a loss in that love. That's where grief comes in, right? But how do we balance that? Because you don't want to be from one, like a ping pong, from once grief, and then love again, and then grief, right? In the enlightenment self, we deal with what we call abundance. Abundance. So this is the part where you feel abundance. It's what we say. It's the proper way of looking at this energy of that we call abundance, or what we call love. This energy we call love, which is the access of both your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. And how is it? Abundance is at the access, that's the barrier. Right? Because the solar plexus wills something, and then to overstand that will or what you're doing, that willpower, you increase in abundance. Yeah, that's, you can go real deep into that thought concept, but we're just going to leave it there for now. Okay, let the tie it all together. So also in the center, okay, you feel that love, you have a sense of beauty, you feel beauty, joy, harmony. Remember when you play with those tones and then you put the harmony in it, that's an abundance, because you have an abundance of other tones that go together with that tone. So it creates this abundance. And we're gonna look up the definition of abundance. Let me just finish here real quick. Music is also that sense of abundance, dancing, the different moves and steps, nourishment. Nourishment, very important when you deal with love and abundance. Nourishment and maternity. And we're going to go over those more in depth. This is your emotional power. That energy that you got from the solar plexus now comes to the heart, and it becomes power. The power to care, or the power of abundance. We're talking about the enlightenment self now. So this will, this purification, when you purify yourself, right? Then you start looking at the abundance. When you get rid of all that toxic and all that stuff, and you see what you have, then you see how it grows. It becomes abundant. How this missing that? So the process here, by developing this energy center, or by being aware of it, by illuminating this particular area in our mind. And this is the threshold, the barrier between the two minds, the submerged mental, which is the submerged consciousness, subconscious, and you have the consciousness, which is where your thoughts. Here you feel the thoughts, here you see the thoughts, but here you feel the thoughts, and you love at the middle ground. It'll become more clear as we have more conversations with this, but I don't know. It's a lot more that I gotta go on. But anyway, when you look up the word abundance, you see the word an ample quantity. Lots of quantity, profusion, right? Affluence, wealth. Wealth is abundance. When they say you have an abundance, it means you have your wealth, you have health, again, leading up to nourishment. The proper nourishment gives you a sense of abundance, a sense of wellness, wealthness, wealth, affluence. Okay, plentifulness. Now you can illuminate it, and you are now connected to the source and the plentifulness, the abundant blessings that this electromagnetic forces gives us, and we receive it. And then in turn, we're supposed to give it also. That's when you become enlightened and become like that sun. This is the sense of abundance, plentifulness, right? So this is the cultivation of respect for the creative energy of the multiverse. That's abundance. You cultivate respect for the creative energy of the multiverse. Right here is you establish an abundance and a love, what they call the spiritual love, the higher, most love for the most high frequency, caring for the most high frequency. Now, all of that is funneled, right, in the heart. It settles in the heart, and that's where the sense of abundance and nourishment and music and art and dance, a lot of the arts. It all starts with that access, that perfect balance. When you're balanced consciously with the subconscious, and you're balanced with that world of thoughts, with the world of habits, and you are balanced there, it gives you a sense of abundance. Then that barrier, that access is illuminating. But listen, this is just an introduction. So I don't really want to go in. We're going to go in deep on the next podcast. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just not, I'm trying to avoid giving so much and being all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I want to save my energy. I want to save that for a special interview that I'll be doing. I'm probably going to be interviewed by someone. And I always wanted to come on this particular podcast, not because it got a lot of views and stuff, but because the content, you know, it's about helping our people, helping people, you know what I'm saying? Because we're wounded, we're damaged by a lot, but we have to now dissect that illness. We have to dissect it right now. And that's what this podcast does. We dissect it, we see where it's coming from, and then we give it the antidote. Not the ropey dope, the antidote. And we start illuminating, enlightening from within. And we start now living conscientiously. Not just conscious, but conscientious. You know, having the proper morals also helps with the ethics. Anyway, I just want to leave it there. There's so much I want to say, but I'm not going to go into that. So, hey, listen, peace and blessing to everybody. And I'll see you some